splendid, silent sun, by Walt Whitman. Give me the splendid, silent sun, with all his beams full dazzling. Give me juicy autumnal fruit ripe and red from the orchard. Give me a field where the unmowed grass grows. Give me an arbor, give me the trellised grape. Give me fresh corn and wheat. Give me serene moving animals teaching content. Give me nights perfectly quiet, as on high plateaus west of the pet Mississippi, and I looking up at the stars. Give me odorous at sunrise, a garden of beautiful flowers where I can walk undisturbed. Give me for marriage a sweet-breathed woman of whom I should never tire. Give me a perfect child. Give me a way aside from the noise of the world, a rural, domestic life. Give me to warble spontaneous songs recluse by myself, for my own ears only. Give me solitude, give me nature. Give me again, O nature, your primal sanities. These demanding to have them, tired with ceaseless excitement and racked by the war strife. These to procure, incessantly asking, rising in cries from my heart. While yet incessantly asking, still I adhere to my city, day upon day and year upon year, O city, walking your streets. Where you hold me enchained a certain time, refusing to give me up, yet giving to make me glutted, enriched of soul, you give me forever faces. Oh, I see what I sought to escape, confronting, reversing my cries. I see my own soul trampling down what it asked for. Keep your splendid silent sun. Keep your woods, O nature, and the quiet places by the woods. Keep your fields of clover and timothy, and your cornfields and orchards. Keep the blossoming buckwheat fields where the 9th month bees hum. Give me faces in streets. Give me these phantoms incessant and endless among the trotters. Give me interminable eyes. Give me women. Give me comrades and lovers by the thousand. Let me see new ones every day. Let me hold new ones by the hand every day. Give me such shows. Give me the streets of Manhattan. Give me Broadway with the soldiers marching. Give me the sound of trumpets and drums. The soldiers in companies or regiments, some starting away, flushed and reckless, some, their time up, returning with thinned ranks, young yet very old, worn, marching, noticing nothing. Give me the shores and wharves heavy fringed with black ships. Oh, such for me! Oh, an intense life, full to repletion and varied. The life of the theater, ballroom, huge hotel for me. The saloon of the steamer. The crowded excursion for me, the torchlight procession, the dense brigade bound for war, with high-piled military wagons following, people endless, streaming with strong voices, passions, pageants, Manhattan streets with their powerful throbs, with beating drums as now, the endless and noisy chorus, the rustle and clank of muskets, even the sight of the wounded. Manhattan crowds with their turbulent musical chorus. Manhattan faces and eyes forever for me.
I am sitting in the morning at the diner on the corner. I am waiting at the counter for the man to pour the coffee. And he fills it only halfway, and before I even argue, he is looking out the window at somebody coming in. "It is always nice to see you," says the man behind the counter to the woman that has come in. She is shaking her umbrella, and I look the other way as they are kissing their hellos. I'm pretending not to see them, and instead I pour the milk. I open up the paper. There's a story of an actor that died while he was drinking. He was no one I had heard of, and I'm turning to the horoscope and looking for the funnies when I'm feeling someone watching me, and so I raise my head. There's a woman on the outside, looking inside. Does she see me? No, she does not really see me because she sees her own reflection, and I'm trying not to notice that she's hitching up her skirt. and when she's straightening her stockings, her hair is getting wet. Oh, this rain, it will continue through the morning, and I'm listening to the bells of the cathedral. I am thinking of your voice, and of the midnight picnic once upon a time before the rain began. I finish up my coffee, and it's time to catch the train.
Fall leaves, fall. Die, flowers, away. Lengthen night and shorten day. Every leaf speaks bliss to me, fluttering from the autumn tree. I shall smile when wreaths of snow blossom where the rose should grow. I shall sing when night's decay ushers in a drearier day.
But soft. What light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou her maid art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. Is my lady? Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks? Yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars, as daylight doth a lamp. Her eyes in heaven would through the airy regions stream so bright, that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that there were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek. She speaks. Speak again, bright angel.
The Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood by Rebecca Wells. Prologue. Sida is a girl again in the hot heart of Louisiana, the bayou world of Catholic saints and voodoo queens. It is Labor Day, 1959, at Pecan Grove Plantation, on the day of her daddy's annual dove hunt. While the men sweat and shoot, Sida's gorgeous mother Vivi and her gang of girlfriends, the Yayas, play bourrée, a cutthroat Louisiana poker, inside the air-conditioned house. On the kitchen blackboard is scrawled, "Smoke, drink, never think," borrowed from Billie Holiday. When the ladies take a break, they feed the petite Yayas, as Yaya offspring are called, sickly sweet maraschino cherries from the fridge in the wet bar. That night, after dove gumbo, tiny bird bones floating in Haviland china bowls, Sida goes to bed. Hours later, she wakes with a gasp from a mean dream. She tiptoes to the side of her mother's bed, but she cannot awake Vivi from her bourbon-soaked sleep. She walks barefoot into the humid night, moonlight on her freckled shoulders. Near a huge, live oak tree on the edge of her father's cotton fields, Sida looks up at the sky. In the crook of the crescent moon sits the Holy Lady, with strong muscles and a merciful heart. She kicks her splendid legs like the moon is her swing and the sky her front porch. She waves down at Sida like she has just spotted an old buddy. Sida stands in the moonlight and lets the Blessed Mother Love every hair on her 6-year-old head. Tenderness flows down from the moon and up from the earth. For one fleeting, luminous moment, Sita Walker knows there has never been a time when she has not been loved.
Look, the trees are turning their own bodies into pillars of light, are giving off the rich fragrance of cinnamon and fulfillment. The long tapers of cattails are bursting and floating away over the blue shoulders of the ponds, and every pond, no matter what its name is nameless now. Every year, everything I have ever learned in my lifetime leads back to this. The fires and the black river of loss, whose other side is salvation, whose meaning none of us will ever know. To live in this world, you must be able to do three things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends on it, and when the time comes to let it go, to let it go.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them. To die, to sleep, no more. And by a sleep we say to end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. There's the rub. For in that sleep of death what dreams may come, when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would fardels bear, to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country, from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others we know not of? Thus conscience doth make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied over with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pith and moment with this regard their currents turn awry and lose the name of action.
Dirge Without Music by Edna St. Vincent Millay. I am not resigned to the shutting away of loving hearts into the hard ground. So it is, and so it will be, for so it has been, time out of mind. Into the darkness they go, the wise and the lovely, crowned with lilies and with laurel they go. But I am not resigned. Lovers and thinkers, into the earth with you, be one with the dull, the indiscriminate dust, a fragment of what you felt, of what you knew, a formula, a phrase remains, but the best is lost. The answers quick and keen, the honest look, the laughter, the love, they are gone. They are gone to feed the roses. Elegant and curled is the blossom, fragrant is the blossom. I know, but I do not approve. More precious was the light in your eyes than all the roses in the world. Down, down, down into the darkness of the grave. Gently they go, the beautiful, the tender, the kind. Quietly they go, the intelligent, the witty, the brave. I know, But I do not approve, and I am not resigned.
Do you know why it's impossible to lick the tips of your elbows? They hold the secret to immortality. So if you could lick them, there's a chance you'd be able to live forever. But if everyone did it, if everyone could actually lick the tips of their elbows, then there'd be chaos. Because you can't just go on living and living and living.
I'm in a relationship, so yeah.
Do you know why it's impossible to lick the tips of your elbows? They hold the secret to immortality. So if you could lick them, there's a chance that you'd be able to live forever. But if everyone did it, if everyone could actually lick the tips of their elbows, then there'd be chaos because you can't just go on living and living and living.
I've just come out of a really serious relationship, so yeah.
I was just making conversation,
Sure.
just trying to start a conversation.
No, sure, but still.
Do you know why it's impossible to lick the tips of your elbows? They hold the secret to immortality. So if you could lick them, there's a chance you'd be able to live forever. But if everyone did it, if everyone could actually lick the tips of their elbows, then there'd be chaos because you can't just go on living and living and living.
Oh, right.
Try it.
What's that?
Your elbows, try licking them.
I'm all right.
I'm Marianne.
Roland.
Thank God the rain's held off.
Yeah.
Nothing like a soggy barbecue.
Yeah.
Soggy sausages. Would you like a drink?
I'm all right. My wife's actually gone to get me a beer.
Try it.
What's that?
Your elbows, try licking them.
See what you mean. I'm Roland.
Marianne.
Shame about the rain.
Nothing worse than a soggy barbecue.
So are you a friend of Jane's or?
No, Jane. Yeah, we were at college together.
Right.
Yourself?
My wife used to work with Jane.
Your elbows, try licking them.
See what you mean. I'm Roland.
Marianne.
Shame about the rain.
Nothing worse than a soggy barbecue.
So are you a friend of Jane's or?
Who's Jane?
She's the lady having the barbecue?
Oh, right. Christ, no. I was just walking past and I saw a load of free booze and sausages. No, I'm joking.
Right.
Jane and I were at college together. How about you?
I play football with Tom.
Tom?
Jane's brother-in-law. Bluey green t-shirt.
Yes.
You want a drink?
I'm fine. Thanks.
So what do you do for a living?
I work at Sussex University.
Right. Great.
Yourself?
I'm a beekeeper.
Really?
Yeah.
You're really a beekeeper?
I'm really a beekeeper.
I fucking love honey.
Oh, really?
Oh, spoon, jar of honey, heaven.
What sort of honey do you normally go for?
I'm too embarrassed.
How do you mean?
Too embarrassed to tell you.
Why is that?
I like Tesco, the really dirty stuff, the prison strike stuff.
That's all right.
Really?
Of course.
I'm not putting honest, hardworking beekeepers out of business.
Wouldn't have thought so.
Do you think I'm a honey Philistine?
Some of the supermarket stuff's all right.
Really?
Yeah, some of it's fine. Yeah.
So, and I mean, don't take this the wrong way, but I mean, are you,
Go on.
do you make a living?
I do. Yeah.
I mean, from beekeeping.
From beekeeping.
How does it
I mean, how does it?
Well, I used to. I used to work for a friend of mine in Wiltshire.
Very nice.
After a while, though, decided I wanted to go into business on my own. But my girlfriend, ex-girlfriend,
I'm sorry for your loss.
what's that?
No, I was making a
Right,
sorry for your loss, as in
right.
it was just
No.
anyway, you were
Yeah, no. So my ex, she wanted to move to London. So we got this one bed place in Tower Hamlets.
no wonder you broke up with her. Fuck me. I'd have broken up with her if she made me leave Wiltshire for fucking Tower Hamlets.
I'm still living there, actually.
Lovely curries.
There wasn't any room for bees.
I see.
We didn't have a garden.
Bummer.
One day I was up on the roof and I realized it was perfect. So I tidied up a bit and got my first hive.
Amazing.
Went from 1 to 2, 2 to 4. We went away, me and Laura. We went away to Spain, and when we got back, we found that the flat had been raided.
Rated?
I used to keep the honey in bin bags, those black plastic bin liners.
Yes.
Didn't have a lot of money at the time, so the bin bags were just a cheap alternative. When we were away, though, one of the neighbors called the police, thought I was brewing smack or something. They properly went for it. The police. They kicked the front door in, turned the flat upside down, and confiscated all these bin bags filled with the most amazing honey and honeycomb.
That really happened.
Yeah.
You used to keep honey in bin bags.
Yeah. Hello, Marianne. It's Roland.
Roland.
How are you? Hope I didn't scare you.
No. A bit. Maybe. I mean, a bit.
Sorry.
Are you here for the ballroom class?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Ballroom, really?
Heather's getting married.
Heather?
My sister.
Heather. Yeah, of course.
I've been ordered to sort out my 2 left feet or else.
Did you know I was going to be here?
What? Did I?
Know that I was going to be here.
No, of course not.
I'm learning ballroom because I'm getting married, Roland.
No, sure.
In September.
Congratulations.
Thank you. What about you? Are you
I was, but for the moment, no.
married?
Seeing someone. I was seeing someone, but we broke up, so.
I'm sorry.
No, please, don't be.
Hello, Roland.
Marianne, wow, shit. How's it going?
Well, I'm really well, thanks.
Great, that's really great.
Yourself?
Yeah, no, I mean, good. Yeah.
I bought some of your honey
Oh, really?
from the Budgeons in Crouch End.
Yeah, right. They're really great.
I said to the girl in the till, I said, I used to know the man who made this honey.
Oh, what did she say?
She just stared at me. How is everything business-wise?
Good, yeah. About to start doing pollen.
Pollen?
Yeah, you scrape it off the bees. You scrape it off the legs of the bees and then you ground it down. Really good for you, apparently.
Scraping the legs of the bees or pollen?
Had an offer from Tesco of all people.
For the pollen?
No, just for the honey.
How much for?
Fair whack.
What did you say?
Told them to go fuck themselves. I read one of your papers.
You did not.
I did. I downloaded it.
Which one did you read?
Something about hot subdwarf stars.
Were you really looking for midget porn on Google?
What's that?
Subdwarf. It was
Gotcha.
that's really amazing, Roland. Thank you.
What did you think of the honey from Budgeons?
Oh, delicious. It was completely delicious.
It's Heather.
Yes.
We cart the bees up to the Heather's moors every August, one by one.
One by one?
Hives, not bees.
Um, are you here for the ballroom class?
Yeah, no, yeah, I am. Yeah, actually, I'm actually engaged.
Oh wow.
So, yeah.
Who's the lucky lady?
Allison? Allison, no.
I remember.
How about yourself? Are you.
Just trying to lose a bit of weight. Too many late night digestive binges. I blame the subdwarfs, the stars, the paper you read.
Heather's getting married in a couple months, so.
The PE teacher?
What's that?
He was a PE teacher, wasn't he?
Right, no, I see. They called it a day. New bloke something or other for the DVLA.
Wow.
I've been ordered to sort out my 2 left feet or else. How about you?
Similar, really. Wedding.
Your own or?
Oh God, can you imagine? I'm being a very diligent bridesmaid. We're having some kind of mass Viennese waltz. I'm not sure I fully understand it as yet.
So this is your first lesson?
No. Second. You?
First, yeah.
Well done on the comfortable trouser front. I came straight from work. Last week. Crotch was like a fucking furnace by the time I got home.
Mary, I'm sorry.
Well done on the comfortable trouser front. I came straight from work. Last week, crotch was like a fucking inferno by the time I got home. Roland, I'm sorry.
What for?
Well done on the comfortable trouser front. I came straight from work. Last week, crotch was like a fucking sauna by the time I got home. I have to say it because if I don't, I'll feel like a fraud.
Mary.
Let's go for a drink. I don't know what I'm doing here anyway. One drink. And if you never want to see me again, you never have to see me again.
Mary.
Why don't we go for a drink? I don't know what I'm doing here anyway. One drink. And if you never want to see me again, you never have to see me again.
Mary.
One drink. And if you never want to see me again, you never have to see me again.
Mary.
And if you never want to see me again, you never have to see me again.
Taxi's booked for 9.
I know.
Gives us an extra half an hour.
It does.
Are you tired?
A bit.
Would you like to go to sleep?
What time is it?
Are you cold?
No,
I could turn the air conditioning off.
I'm fine.
Taxi's booked for 9.
I know.
Gives us an extra half an hour.
It does.
Are you tired?
A bit.
Would you like to go to sleep?
What time is it?
Are you cold?
No.
I could turn the air conditioning off.
No, I'm fine.
Taxi's booked for 9.
I know.
Gives us an extra half an hour.
It does.
Are you tired?
A bit.
Would you like to go to sleep?
What time is it?
Are you cold?
No,
I could turn the air conditioning off.
I'm fine.
You want me to put the telly on?
No, thank you.
Are you hungry?
Full.
I've had a really wonderful day.
Same.
Really?
Yes.
Can I be honest with you?
No.
There are times when I look at you and I absolutely understand why you're doing this. But there are times when I absolutely don't. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be calling it a day, but I suppose I'm starting to wonder if now is the right time. Because if it were me and I were you, I think I would want as much time as possible. And if you think you've got a couple of months in you, God, I would love to give that a go.
Yes.
What?
Yes, let's go home.
Because if it were me and I were you, I think I'd want as much time as possible. And if you think you've got a couple of weeks in you, God, I would love to give that a go.
What do you mean by time?
Time. I mean time. I'd want more with you.
I'm not sure that you and I, we think that, but that there's an arrow from past to present.
Mary.
But that's all we can say. Asymmetrical.
Mary.
Nobody knows why.
Okay.
Listen to me, please.
Let's not talk about this now.
Please.
I shouldn't have brought it up.
Listen to me, please. Basic laws of physics. The basic laws of physics don't have a past and a present. Time is irrelevant at the level of atoms and molecules. It's symmetrical. We have all the time we've always had. You'll still have all our time once there's not going to be any more or less of it. Once I'm gone.
How bad is it, Mary?
It's pretty bad.
How bad is pretty bad?
They said being under 40 might help, but
Mary, how bad is pretty bad?
I'm not sure I want to talk about it right away.
Mary, I've been waiting around on the tenterhooks.
I'm not sure I can talk about it right away.
Do you want something to drink? Do you want some water?
Thank you.
Do you want some booze? I mean...
Just after a moment's silence, and then I'll tell you anything you want. He said, I think something like a third of people live for a year.
What about the other two?
What?
What about the other 2/3? How long do they...
I don't know, Roland. I don't know.
What did they tell you? What did the...
No, I don't know. I can't remember. They gave me some leaflets. I mean, fuck me. Why does it matter what happens to the other 2/3?
Why does it matter?
Yes.
It matters because presumably we don't know which third you're going to be.
Why are you being arsey with me?
I'm not being...
You are. You're being arsey. You're getting mad at me for not remembering this number or that number. I mean, who gives a fuck?
All right.
I'll go upstairs and get my fucking handbag, and you can rifle through the plethora of leaflets if it bothers you that fucking much.
All right. All right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did he talk about treatment?
He said they can operate. Try and remove as much of it as they can. Then they said radiotherapy, but if I'm too weak for radiotherapy, they said chemo. Shitload of chemo. It's right at the front.
The front?
It's all over the frontal lobe.
I don't know what any of that means.
He said I might have trouble selecting words. Selecting the right words. He said I should expect seizures.
Jesus Christ.
It's palliative. Whatever they do, it's not, they can't.
Okay.
They said this is it.
Okay.
This is it, they said.
Okay. Okay.
Why don't you sit down?
I need to sit down, do I?
Maybe. I mean, no, standing is fine.
I would have come with you if you told me, you know.
I know.
I would have canceled.
I know. I wanted to go alone.
I'm a bit angry, actually, Mary.
Angry?
I'm saying so that you know.
You're angry.
I'm saying so that you know, because I don't want to have an argument.
Glad to fucking hear it.
All right.
I'm sorry you missed out on the sheer joy that was collecting the results of my biopsy, Roland.
All right.
But forgive me, I didn't feel like inviting along a fucking entourage of onlookers.
All right, Christ. I'm telling you so I can get off my chest because I want to be as honest with you as I possibly can. Because I don't know what you're about to say and it's clearly bad news. And I want to be able to listen and not thinking, I wonder what she did with herself once she heard.
The reason
I wonder why she didn't call me straight away.
I knew that you...
Because I would have dropped absolutely anything and everything, and I wonder if she knows that.
So I got my biopsy results.
Today?
They called me and asked me to come in.
Who did you see?
Dr. Thorne.
What did he say?
He says it's benign.
What?
He says that it's a grade 1, and he said that it's benign.
Wait, he said that
He said that ordinarily with a grade 1, he would expect to see a full recovery.
Did he use the phrase full recovery?
Exact quote.
He said,
Ordinarily, we would expect to see a full recovery.
fucking hell.
Yeah,
What happens now?
they need to operate.
But he definitely used the phrase full recovery.
He did.
Are you all right?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you hungry? Do you want some bolognese, homemade?
Oh, have we got any of the nice spaghetti?
I love you.
It's called a glioblastoma multiforme.
Right,
It's a grade 4.
right.
It's at the front,
Okay.
which is why I've been having trouble.
Speaking.
He said he thinks they should operate.
Great,
He said he thinks that's what they should start with.
great.
And then he suggested radiotherapy.
Okay.
But he said that if I'm too weak for radiotherapy,
Too weak.
yes.
Okay, sorry.
He said that if I'm too weak for radiotherapy, then chemo is probably better.
Okay.
He said that,
We can stop.
no, I'm okay.
We could eat.
No, I'm fine.
Honestly, we can stop. We can eat.
I think I'd rather just get
No, you're right.
through it.
Absolutely.
Year.
A year?
Probably less.
It's probably less than a year.
He didn't say that, but
They didn't say that,
I went online.
but they didn't tell you that.
They said we should talk about all of that when we next meet, but when I got back to campus,
Mary.
no, I know it's stupid. I shouldn't have done it. I went on a forum.
A forum?
People had left all these dedications to all these people they had known that had died. There were pages and pages of them. Most of them were really wet and drippy. Just got really fucking angry.
Angry?
There's so much bullshit.
You mean on the...
Someone dies.
Right.
There's so much bullshit. When your time's up, your time's up.
Right.
Time. I mean, what on earth are they even talking about?
Why don't we...
Who's a real fighter? Was she? Well, she obviously didn't do a very good fucking job, did she?
All right.
Some of them had uploaded photos.
We should eat.
Oh, there was a photograph of a woman with God knows how many tubes hanging out of her, and she was surrounded by these garish fucking balloons.
Some people like to give balloons.
If you give me a balloon, I will fucking garrote you.
Note to self.
And if you put a photo on me on a fucking forum, I will haunt the shit out of you.
No forums. Okay. Let's eat. We should eat. Hello, Marianne.
Roland, wow. Hi. Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks.
Oh, good. Good, that's really good.
How about yourself?
I bought some of your honey.
Oh, really?
From the Budgeons in Couch End.
Yeah, right. They're really great.
I said to the girl in the tell, I said, I used to know the man who made this honey.
What did she say?
She just stared at me.
I read one of your papers.
Did not.
I did. I downloaded it.
That's really amazing, Roland.
What did you think of the honey?
Delicious. It was completely delicious. Are you here for that ballroom class?
Yeah, no, yeah, I am. Yeah.
Really?
Heather's getting married in a couple of months, so...
The PE teacher?
Yeah, that's right. Good memory. I've been ordered to sort out my 2 left feet or else. How about you?
Similar, really. Wedding.
Your own or...
No, God, can you imagine? I'm being a very diligent bridesmaid. We're having some kind of mass Viennese waltz. I'm not sure I fully understand it as of yet.
So this is your first lesson?
No. Second. You?
First, yeah.
Well done on the comfortable trouser front. I came straight from work. Last week, crotch was like a fucking hothouse by the time I got home.
We should, afterwards, if we're not both completely exhausted, there's a nice place not that far. We could try going for a drink. But if we're there and you change your mind, if you change your mind and you want to call it a day, then we'll just call it a day. We'll just call it a day and you'll never have to see me again.
Message to the public. The causes of the disaster are these.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and my fellow members of the Royal Geographical Society, I believe that concludes our lantern program at this time. I feel certain that our speaker for tonight needs little introduction from me. Therefore, let me hasten to present England's own hero of the Antarctic, Captain Robert Falcon Scott.
I do not think human beings ever came through such a month as we have had to come through. And we should have succeeded in spite of the weather, except for the... I can't make my hands... I can't move the pencil.
Captain Scott!
How am I to write if I can't move the pencil?
Scott, what's the matter?
What?
Are you ill, man? Are you indisposed?
No, I just... my hands.
Really, this is most irregular. The members are waiting.
They're...
Waiting. We're all waiting. To hear.
Ah. To hear?
About the race.
Ah, yes. Yes. Everyone loves a race.
Mustn't disappoint them, Scott. So many wanting to know.
It's just my hands, don't you see? And only if I might rest now for a bit, because I'm so frightfully tired.
Not now, old man. After.
After, yes. Afterwards I may rest? My hands, I can't feel the pencil. And yet this fellow says there isn't much time. I have to tell you about the most extraordinary place I've been. The things I've seen there, terrible and wonderful. Flames exploding in air.
Mountains of crystal.
Colors falling from the sky.
Yes.
Silence, like a scream into wind.
Silence like sleep.
Like sleep, yes.
Like a dream.
So many things to tell, but my hands...
The captain has, I believe, a most unusual and most important announcement to make to us at this time. And so now, without further ado, I give you Robert Scott.
My fellow members of the society, we are all engaged, all of us here in this room tonight, in a great scientific race in which our national pride is at stake. No human footprints have yet appeared at the South Geographic Pole. When they do first appear, and I assure you that day is very close, I intend that they shall be British footprints. My new ship, the Terra Nova, will steam down the Thames on the morning of May 30th, and her destination is Antarctica. I am going back. I am going to try a second time. And this time I shall not return until I've planted the Union Jack on the bottom of the earth. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, no journey ever made with dogs can approach that glory which is realized when a party of men go forth to face hardships unaided, and by days and weeks of splendid physical exertion succeed in solving some problem of the great unknown. Our final victory over Norway will be all the sweeter, all the nobler, because we will know we've taken the prize by playing the game as it ought to be played.
Success is a bitch. Grab her and have her, but don't stand under her window with a mandolin.
The explanations I have to go through, the flag waving, even at the society. They call themselves scientists, but for 3 years now their stinginess has frustrated my efforts to open a whole new continent for science.
For science? What can that possibly have to do with you? A strange science. To tell you 1,000-pound sled can be man-hauled across 1,600 miles? I consult a chart and a caloric table. It tells me on the 80th day of my journey, according to precise schedule, the 17th animal must be converted to protein. And that is science.
Of a certain kind, perhaps.
2 methods, 1 goal. Most men squander their chances. Their lives pass as if they had slept. At the end of a vague sadness. Then. But you and me, how many in the world like us, eh? We concentrate, we wait for what? One place, one turning, the pattern revealed. Suppose we could stand on another planet, English, and see our whole lives at once.
How like another planet it must feel to stand at the bottom of the earth.
And what a moment to be there first. Oh yes. How many lifetimes would we give for that? You and me were the same, eh? But you act like a fine gentleman, and I'm only a filthy barbarian, a killer of dogs.
I said nothing of the kind.
A foreigner, then. It's the same thing to you.
You don't play the game.
Oh yes, the English game. By which you mean that peculiar love affair between your race and man's best friend. Shall I tell you a little secret? It's only the big ones I shoot. With the puppies, I like to snap off the heads and drink the blood.
I don't find you very amusing, and you know precisely what I mean.
Do I? Oh, yes. You're angry because I swore to take the North Pole and leave the South to you.
Yes, damn it. You betrayed my trust for the shabby little advantage of a few weeks' head start. You lied to me in front of the whole world.
It wasn't a lie. I meant what I said, for as long as it was convenient. Oh, but I did want the North, more than you've ever wanted anything in your life. From the time I sat in the firelight and listened to the tales of huge ice caps, where perhaps the gods still walk the earth. But you see, the American beat me there. Do you know what it is to see a dream strangled in newspaper cuttings? No. Well, I can't see the point of being the second man in history to reach the North Pole, can you? I'm going south, English.
You're at liberty to try. A decent sense of courtesy towards a brother explorer is more than I have any right to expect.
Think of it as a sporting gesture, Scott. Just a bit of healthy open-air competition. Isn't that part of playing your damned game? As for the dogs, I won't apologize for common sense. A husky is 50 pounds of dinner hauling you along until you need to eat it.
There are rules, codes, standards among civilized men. One doesn't cease behaving properly simply because one is entering a wilderness. All the more reason to set an example. You'll never understand. You're not English.
But I do understand. Playing the game means treating your dogs like gentlemen and your gentlemen like dogs. You're an infant tickling yourself with a razor. Listen to me, English. Success is a bitch. You can grab her and have her if your plan is right, and that's all. Not because you made her swoon with your virtue, so learn the passion for details. That's not so romantic, but it can keep bread in your belly and your backside out of the snow.
Amundsen, wait! Amundsen!
I will wait. In the one place that I can afford to wait for a man as determined as you. In the meantime, think of the details. Give us some tea. My blood's turned to ice. That line of clouds, you've seen them.
Yes.
Storm heads. The too early for this season. I've never seen such clouds.
Yes.
Well, we can't think of everything. Between the far edge of the plan and the near edge of danger, there's always just that tiny crack of luck. So narrow you could barely drive a man's hand into it.
He had no right to keep it to himself. It doesn't make any sense.
Why should it? This cold, so hard on the sick man, he never heals.
First frostbite, then gangrene.
Snow blindness,
Exhaustion.
madness. Really, it's an extraordinary place. It wants so much for you to be dead.
I struck him. I can't believe I struck him.
He behaved like a fool.
But I had no right. A sick man, and a petty officer at that.
Which bothers you more? That you struck him, or that he's going to die? Toughen your heart, English. You know it has to be done.
Yes, I must leave him behind.
Of course.
Not when he's still walking. Not tomorrow or the next day, but soon.
Easier for him than you. Maybe he won't wake at all.
The others slipping away before dawn.
He's rolled warm in his sleeping bag. He doesn't see or hear. He feels nothing.
He wakes at noon. The silent tent. The empty miles around.
But the others saved.
One lost, but the others saved. And peace for him.
It must be done.
Yes, it must.
And I want to do it.
And I want to.
For myself. For my own sake.
Yes, for my own sake.
Well, where is it written that a general should stop a bullet for a private? That's against all rules of strategy. It's finally only a common sort of oath, too clumsy even to avoid spearing himself.
What?
One sick man is sacrificed for the good of many. Don't worry, there's no danger of any stain on your reputation. You might even seem a greater hero than ever.
You disgust me.
For speaking common sense, you're thinking a miracle will come along.
It's still only his hand. He just needn't haul anymore.
And when he can no longer walk, what then?
Then we'll put him on the sled and drag him.
For God's sakes, English. That sleigh weighs 1,000 pounds already. Now, the weight of a big man? If not for your ridiculous pride, you might have dogs to drag it, instead of cripples. And when he slows you down so much you can't reach your supplies, will you even drag him then?
If we must.
He is one, you are four.
That makes no difference.
The difference between living and dying?
Should I just shoot him then, like one of your dogs? Damn it, perhaps we could eat him as well, just to be absolutely logical. It's my fault he's here. Can't you see I'm responsible for his life?
For many lives. There's one way to live here, one only. Everything is a tool. A boot, a sled, a dog, and a hand, an arm, even a man. If it breaks down, you throw it away and you march on. It's brutal, yes, and it's ugly. But anything else is sentiment, and it will kill you.
There's a wall. I can see myself approaching it from a great distance, and at last I come to it. On this side, I'm something like myself. On the other side, I'm lost. I have no name. Can't you understand? Where is the point at which the entire thing becomes worthless? After one man dies? After two?
Then turn back now. No, I never thought you would. Easier to wait. Easier not to decide. God, these winds. They come across 5,000 miles, nothing to interest or slow them up along the way. The simple pleasure of burning my face.
I have one duty to the nation, another to these men. Are they no longer the same?
You have a selfish ambition as well.
God help me. I don't know any longer which I place the highest.
Duty, honor, sacrifice, all very nice on the full belly.
But what is a leader if he can't locate his duty above his own ambition?
A man, such as other men, he outshines the angels. He kills his brother for a scrap of bread. Oh yes, English, you will too when your time comes.
I'm not capable. If I were, I shouldn't want to live myself.
English, You don't even know who you are. You've learned every single rule, but not one dark corner of your own heart. You're the most dangerous kind of decent man. Think of the fox with his leg caught in a steel trap. He'll gnaw through his own flesh for the chance to save his life. Become the fox, feel the metal grinding into bone, smell your own hot blood running, then ask yourself, which is it you really love most, the leg or the trap? How do you like your game now, English? Where will you find the rules?
In myself.
That's a large enough space to explore?
It's all you've left me.
No proud speeches now? You disappoint me, English. You've changed. You've softened.
No, on the contrary.
I am always with you now. You and I are married together now like one person. We have both been to the pole.
Those strange colors.
Yes. The Aurora Australis.
Of course, the southern lights. I've always wondered what they must be like.
Radiant energy released in the high atmosphere. They almost seem to sway with the breezes. Very beautiful, aren't they?
Flames exploding in air, colors falling from the sky.
Form, color, movement. Mysterious and brief as life. We used to watch the Northern Lights as children. To me, these are far more awesome. The ancients, you know, considered these lights to be mystic signs and portents.
The fiery handwriting of the gods. Did they consider them good luck or bad?
Well, I suppose that depends on whether you were an ancient optimist or an ancient pessimist.
Then how should we consider them?
We of course must pretend to be modern men, with no time for such gaudy superstitions. They remind me that we live on a very small planet. We'll never have the answers to some questions. For instance, the question, what is it that keeps this man walking?
Evans.
Look at him. His hands are swollen to lumps. The fingernails are all dislodged. Fluid streams constantly down his legs and freezes there in seconds. His ears are lost. The tip of his nose. The mind is clouded, dull, stupid. Then how is it this creature is still able to put one foot in front of the other?
Home.
Home?
The thought of home keeps him moving. All of us. The people we shall see there, the things we'll do. Memories. I can't decide whether it's good to let them dwell on it. It gives them an incentive, yes, but sometimes it also makes them tense and moody. I suppose, though, that nothing I could say or do could possibly stop them from thinking of home.
I tell you true, English. It would have been kinder to put a bullet through his head.
No use to try and give him a proper burial. The ground's like granite.
Scott,
We'll leave him where he lies. In time, the snow and ice will cover him, and the wind be his true marker.
Scott!
What?
Get up.
Yes.
For 2 weeks since Evans died, you've walked as if you slept. Now the men are dying on their feet. Get up and march, Scott.
Yes. Must keep marching. Only 40 miles left now.
The stench of gangrene is in the tent. Oates' feet are destroyed. Bowers is snowblind.
Only 40, do you hear me? By God, I've almost got them home.
The sky is darkening. If the storms come now, you'll be finished. Oates is slowing you down just as Evans did. You must make a decision.
Oates hasn't marched 1,500 miles to die here. Not like this. Not when we're so close. You took Evans, but you won't take Oates. Oates! Oates, come back! Oates! Oates! Titus.
A brave man. His body will never be found.
What have I done? I slaughter them one by one.
No time for pity, least of all for yourself.
It's over, isn't it? All but the last bit.
While there are players left on the field, come, Scott. Don't you want to play?
I'm very tired.
Play the game.
No.
Play the game.
I don't give a damn anymore. Leave me alone.
You wish you didn't, but you never had any choice. You are who you are.
It was my own choice that brought us here. My own choice that rejected the dogs. That kept us from turning back when we could.
But not to cut the hand, not to kill the oats.
You won't deny me the choice that's still left me. My own choice, even now.
You only have 40 miles to safety.
I can do the arithmetic as well as you. It's bitter but simple. Paraffin for 4 days, food for 6. The last depot and the relief party are 8 days away at this pace. We're just too weak, too slow.
What is food next to the spirit? A man dies when he stops wanting.
We all know it. We've known it since Evans, I think. Only no one will say it. We walk in silence because any sound we made would be a shout of despair. We turn our faces against the darkness. We grope for the pulse of our hearts and feel an idiotic pride that they're still throbbing. In the night we huddle together for warmth, but touching, we're still alone. Still alone.
At last, I think you begin to understand the game.
Help me. Help me.
There's no help I can give you.
They weigh so heavily. All the other lives.
You have strength enough.
This.
That's for men who have no choice. Not the pole, but here.
What?
The single moment you were born to live. One place, the pattern revealed. Not the pole, but here.
Yes.
You feared life had passed you by, that you couldn't keep pace with younger men. And yet, you see, it's the younger men who are falling by the wayside, and you are still strong. You thought it was a kind of death at the pole, yet I tell you, you are never so alive as now, and the moment you were born for is here. Live it well.
Wednesday, 21st March, the 141st day. We've dragged forward, Birdie and Wilson and I. God knows how we've done it. We're only 11 miles from safety now. It might as well be 100 for all the strength we have left. And to make matters worse, a terrible blizzard has pinned us down here. I'm proud to say no more has been mentioned of the drugs. Birdie, Bill, are you awake? Good. Dear Mrs. Bowers, dear Mrs. Wilson, if this letter is ever found, I'm afraid it will reach you after one of the heaviest blows of your lives. I write when we are very near the end of our journey, and I am finishing it in company with 2 gallant gentlemen, to one of you a son, to the other a husband. As our troubles have thickened, they have remained splendidly hopeful, believing in God's mercy to you. If any blame can be attached, let it rest on my shoulders. My whole heart goes out to you in pity. Yours, R. Scott. Message to the public. The causes of the disaster are these.
Far away on the great ice shelf, your bodies lie still where they fell, perfectly preserved, fresh as life, magical. You who were so afraid of aging, and every year as the shelf builds itself outwards, you move a few feet closer to the edge, where the great chunks of iceberg break off into the sea. One day, a great crystal barge will break away and carry you off, Scott, like a Viking king surrounded by his lieutenants. And together you'll sail northwards at last, into warm seas, into the sun again. North, towards home.
For my own sake, I do not regret this journey. We took risks, we knew we took them. Things have come out against us, and therefore we have no cause for complaint. Had we lived, I should have had a tale to tell of the hardihood endurance, and courage of my companions, which would have stirred the heart of every Englishman. These rough notes and our dead bodies must tell the tale. It seems a pity, but I do not think I can write more. Last entry. For God's sake, look out after our people.